far as SA staff is concerned, we went to, as a former member of SA staff, I can tell you that we went to a lot of staff meetings. And we went to an orientation which, much like club orientation, served essentially as an infomercial for SA. We're consistently told how great SA is and how many resources we have, but never really how to use them. When it comes to things like this, less is more. We're gonna make staff education more concise. We're gonna make meetings less frequent, but more productive. We're not going to be standing around patting each other on the back. We're going to be finding out exactly what we do, how we do it, and how it will benefit the students. SA needs to stop congratulating itself and start doing things.
To make sure that our staff are working together, we need to make sure that they know each other. I think that what is overlooked is the staff have the summer orientation. That is a big orientation that is, at the end of the day, is just a waste of time. It is a weekend that it could be a waste of time. I feel like we could have different small meetings that people could get to know each other. Because the only way that people are gonna work is you knowing the name of who does what. When you go to the front desk and you ask, where can I get X, Y, and Z? You don't want them to tell them, go to this department. You want to tell them, go to Joseph that works in this department and he will be able to work to help you. And the only way to do this is for staff to work together, to meet in an environment where it's not about just what is next in the agenda, but who is who. And to make sure that the staff could work together, they need to know each other in a name-to-name basis.
Okay, how important would you consider communication? Please explain why this is an essential part of this organization.
Nice. Well, clearly I must think that communication's essential.
I didn't make
Communication's really important, guys. Also, I'd improve communication by ensuring, first off, that, well, we've got our executive boards cohabiting in the office. They've got to be in the office at the same time so they can talk to people. Let's have them establish, even if they're not, let's create, a Facebook group with Facebook group so you can talk to the SAE boards while they're busy with things. Create public channels of communication, not just to the e-board, but between the e-boards, so they can share ideas. They can share ideas with the students, and they can, finally get POs signed, because that takes forever.
Communication is the key to a successful organization. Without communication, you can't get anything done. It is important in this organization, and it's something that we've talked about since 12 o'clock here. We need to make sure that each of the EBO members and the pro staff and all the staff have a great communication. Because the moment that we're lacking on communication is the moment that things don't get done. It is important that not only the 3 EBO members could communicate with each other, but that they could communicate with the staff. A happy staff is a staff that will get their job done. When people start complaining is when they don't know things on time, and that is when communication starts lacking.
Okay, I'm going to take this communication question in a different direction. We've been talking about the executive board and staff, and we're only talking about the 40 people out of the entire undergraduate student association that you want to represent. So let's talk about communication in terms of everybody. Let's talk about why students walk around the hallways not knowing what events are happening. Let's reintroduce visions. That's a simple, clear technique of how exactly we're going to get events out to students. One piece of paper, all the events for the week, because it's not the student's responsibility to find out what SA events are going on. It's SAs. We get paid in these positions. We should be serving the students, not having the students wander around, not knowing when the next club hockey game is, not knowing when the next LASA event is. That's our responsibility, and that we should be providing to the students. Let's make communication open for everybody and not focus just on the communication between the people at the top.
Do you have any plans for new large events?
I don't think it's more about creating new, more large event. It's about making our large events better. So for me, it's more, we believe that we can have more small concert series. Those are small events. But in terms of large event, we just need to improve the ones that we already have. It is my belief that if we start creating new events, we're gonna go away from those big events that the other clubs have. We have 30 weekends on the school academic year. When SA start creating more events, you start stepping on the toes of the clubs, and then the club's big event are gonna fail. It is really sad when some of our clubs have a big event the same day that the student association has a big event, because what happened is not most of the students attend to one of the two events, so there's money being wasted. So it's time for us to focus more on those big events that apparently during the past 2 semesters, 3 semesters have not been successful. So why don't we focus on those events that we already have instead of creating more lines, instead of spending more money out of the student account?
I have to wholeheartedly disagree with Darlinson because I feel like that's a very complacent look at what SA is doing. And if you're being complacent and you're just going off of what the fests are and what Black Explosion and the big events are, then you're missing big opportunities. And UB's gonna fall way behind when other schools start catching up, and then it's already low attendance from Western New Yorkers coming to UB. We need to start building something. We're a huge university with huge financial resources, not just financial, but all these resources. When you look at events like Fest, they should be all-day festivals. Make them big, make them improve. But more than that, introduce new events. Look at clubs like UBCon, who, as I mentioned before, are underutilized but create this huge event. In my opinion, every CISH club should be able to empower. When you look at a school like Harvard, who introduced Quidditch Club, and then it became a national craze, why can't UB empower our clubs and our students and focus on being the trendsetter rather than the follower in the nation?
Speaking as someone who served on the executive board of 7 CISH clubs, our budgets are too damn low. Secondly, I agree with Darwinson. Large events put on by the SA often coincide with club events. That's why my delegates have been taking flack for not attending SUNY Palooza. Mirapondia had Indian Night, the largest event put on by the Indian Student Association on the same night, and the executive board did such a poor job of communicating this to anybody that none of us were aware of it. And as far as large events that we're putting on, what we don't have is a large event, but we have a large program. Shuttle trackers. Those of you who ride the blue line and the red line and the yellow line, or the green, yellow, red, and teal lines, often don't know where they are, and student life schedules are suggestions at best. So, that was a short minute.
I want that one to drop. I'm just kidding.
Do you have any ideas on how to increase the quality of SA's presentation to the freshmen during summer orientation?
Yeah, let me do it. No, but honestly, I feel like our presentation to the freshmen are focused too much on just one quick shot at orientation. And we obsess with orientation, like this one week in the summer when kids are thinking about all kinds of crazy other things, what party they're going to, and how they're gonna skip out on the sleep out hangover and everything. But we try to focus all of our attention on that during orientation, during that 1-2 day stretch. We should be focusing on getting these kids to know what's going on, getting these kids to understand how SA works, what different organizations are to get involved, and the way to do that isn't just a one quick hit during orientation. Introduce lesson plans to classes that freshmen take, such as UB 101 and Honors Colloquium. I know there's space in those programs because I've TA'd these courses, and I know there's opportunity for SA to go in, hold a lesson plan, and say, hey, listen, I know this is a big organization, you're paying money to it, we owe you the respect to teach you how it works. And go through and teach everybody their first semester freshman year, this is the way SA is organized, this is the way money flows, these are the events that we have, and this is the way everything is operated. You pay $94.75 every semester, this is what you get for it, and this is the way it goes through, and this is how you can get involved. Rather than just having a table and let everybody attack, every club attack all the freshmen at orientation, let's teach these guys. Because then you do that for 4 years, everybody is on the same page. Every single student at the university knows the process, understands all the events, and then you can build something. That's building a foundation when you start it during, not just during orientation over the summer, but when you start it in classes, get everybody on the same page. Just think about that. In 4 years then, everybody understands SA, everybody knows the events, and everybody's pushing for something greater. And that's what we can have, and that's what we can obtain.
What SA needs to do at orientation is increase its presence, and this goes hand in hand with the need for SA to increase its presence and increase cooperation and collaboration with other groups that put on student events, especially student life. Orientation is just one event that is very much has SA underrepresentation. We've got all of student life's events that get put on, all these things done by administration, SA is very conspicuously absent from. Orientation needs more SA presence, as does every other event put on by the GSA or sub-board or student life or student affairs. All of this needs to have SA involved, because ultimately, thanks to our $900 comprehensive fee, we're the ones paying for it. It's time for these organizations to stop misusing our money.